Hello friends, and welcome to this video. After a very long time, literally eternity, I'm back. So today we are making an Electron application, and we'll be making an application to keep notes. Okay, now what I'm totally going to make, I don't know. You can skip the video at the end and see what I have made. Like I don't know what I'm making. Okay, so that's the thing. So just be with me, it will be cool, right? So first of all, if you don't know about Electron, what it is, Electron is actually a library framework, I don't know what, but it is a tool which will help you to make amazing desktop application using web technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can also use frameworks such as React, Angular, Vue in order to create, but today we'll be using HTML, CSS, JavaScript because most of you will be comfortable with that. So first of all, like, let me open the website of Electron.js so that you can get an idea about what it is and how does it work. This is Electron.js, and you know a few of the most popular softwares which we use in our daily life are actually made from this Electron.js, such as WhatsApp, VS Code, Twitch, Slack, Figma. All of these are actually made from Electron.js, which is amazing thing, right? And it's open source, cross platform, and it is made from web technologies only, which is JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So it's great. First of all, let's start building. So we'll be creating a folder in which our project will be living. So let's think of some amazing name for this note keeping application. Note keeping. I cannot come in I cannot think of any innovative name than note keeping itself. Yeah, no, I cannot do anything. Like, it's not my fault. You can think of some better names, suggest it in the comment. I'll be renaming this, and if you want the source code, it will be in the description. Okay, so don't worry about that. So first of all, what we'll be doing is initializing a node project over here. So npm init, and we'll be just hitting enter. Okay, now it will ask a lot of questions. So it's exam time. Package name node version 1.1. This is a node keeping application. Index.js, yes. Test command, whatever. Keyword author j. License, I'm happy with this, and yes. Okay, once we have done this npm setup, we have to install few dependencies, and let's talk about them. So first of all, the first dependency is Electron itself. So let's install Electron. Okay, so let's install it. Now we'll be installing dependencies as we need them. Okay, so the few things, let's discuss few things which we'll be learning from this tutorial. First of all, how to use storage, so how to store data into the computer and how to take it back when you load up the application, and a lot more things. You learn about IPC communication, IPC rendering, how to communicate between the renderer process and your like in your front end process. I just want to tell you, like, the whole Electron, actually, how does it work. So first of all, just mark my words. So Electron itself, you can divide it into two parts. Okay, so first is the renderer process, and the next is the main process. Okay, so if you are thinking what all these two things are, so first of all, a renderer process is the process, or is the part of an Electron application which you see on your web page. Okay, so whatever you like is the visual part. It's the HTML, CSS, JavaScript part, whatever you do in the web page. And if you want any system level access, like if you want to access the file system, if you want to access the notification feature, it is all available in the main process. Okay, so these are two distinctions. Okay, so if you want to read and write file or do any kind of stuff, you should do that in the main process. By the way, there is a remote module. You can do it in the render process also, but it's recommended to do it in the main process. See, Electron has been installed, and we have installed 13.1.2, which is the latest version of Electron. So once we have done that, let's open this in Visual Studio Code so that we can start writing some code. Okay, okay, so I think my previous project also got open. Look, which one is my previous project? I don't know. Let's see. I think it's this one. Yeah, let's go. Let's close this one. Okay, No, we want this. Don't save. Just get lost. Yeah. So the first thing which we'll be doing is over here is we'll be creating a file. Let's call it index.js, from where our application will be application will start executing. Okay. First of all, let's import Electron. I think we need to make it a little bit bigger so that you can see. Yeah. Let Electron is equal to require Electron. Once we have imported Electron, the next thing is we have done one mistake. We do not want to import full Electron. There's two subparts of Electron which we basically need. First is the app. App is like the whole application. Second is the browser window. Now browser window is actually the window, okay, is the window which we are creating. And how we'll be creating it, we'll be learning it right now. So we just want to do one thing. We want to, like, whenever the app is ready, okay, then we actually want to execute a function. Okay, we want to execute a function. Now that function is create window. Okay, now you must be thinking, where is this function? So it does not exist. We'll be making this function create window. Okay, and this function will be responsible for creating the window and launching it. So let's see how we can do it. First of all, let's do one thing. Let's create a global object window, and over this, in this function, let's initialize this window. So let's say window is equal to new browser window, browser window. And the next thing is we'll be giving a width property. So this is the width of the window. So let's keep it something like 800, and height property to be as okay, so height property to be at 600. And now there is some preferences which we want, web preferences, where I'll be explaining you. First of all, node integration I want true. Node integration means I can use fs module and all in the render process itself. Second thing is wait, okay, node integration to true. And what else? That's it, I believe. If we'll be needing something else, we'll be adding it later on. The next thing is you get a default menu at the top, which we don't want. Okay, so we'll say auto hide menu to true. You can just keep it, like you can keep it or remove it. It's up to you. It's up to your choice. Okay, and now we'll be just creating a folder over here, let's say. Okay, and let's call it renderer. I think my spelling is correct because I'm very bad in spellings. If you watch my videos regularly, you must be knowing that, right? So my computer is going very slow right now. I don't know why. Okay, so in the render process, we'll be creating another file. We'll call it index.html. Okay, this is our render process. Okay, so let's actually just for dummy content, let's put it something h1 our application, outer application, not our application, application. Yeah, that's great. Once we have that, we can just go and load this. How we can load this? Let's see. We'll say window dot load file, and you'll have to just give the something like this dir name, which is current dictionary name, slash renderer slash index.js. Yeah, you can see that's the address of this index.html file. And once this is loaded, so win dot on ready or add event add listener, I think it will work, ready to show. And I'll explain you what is this function about. So after this is loaded, it will not show, after this is loaded, then only we want the window to appear. We don't want the window to appear when the all the HTML, CSS and JavaScript are still loading. Okay, so we'll just say ready to show, and then we can say window dot show, and that will basically show our window. Okay, that's it. So that's how you launch a window. Now there are few setups which you want to do. First is app dot add listener, window all close. Now there's let me tell you one thing. There's, you know, sometimes on some operating systems like Mac OS and all, the application does not close automatically like when you close it. So there's like, you know, you'll have to close it manually through code. So that's what we're doing over here. So you know, so we'll say if, like, if there is no window left, okay, so now again my computer freezed. Okay, so if there is no like, we can say if process dot platform is not equal to Darwin, like any, if any other than Darwin, we want to say app dot quit, like, okay, that's like you know, we basically want this for like this is not compulsory to do, like this is for like just making application better. Yeah. That's it, I believe. You know, we can now see our application. I think if we don't have errors, let's pray we don't have errors. By the way, we have to like you know, update one script in the package.json file, and let's discuss about that. You know, the script will say dev script, which will be used for running in development. So we'll say electron period yeah, that should work. And remember this, if you write a period over here, this main should point at the correct place, right? It's like it's pointing to this index file right now, so it should point, in your case also, it should point to the correct place. And let's actually launch our application now. So that's our terminal there, and we can say npm run dev. Let's hope for the best, finger crossed that it will launch our application. Okay, yeah, we have our application. But yeah, you can see our application. This is the desktop application which we have right now. So it's running all good, all fine, without any problem. Okay, let's close it for now. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is we need one more thing. I just remember it in the web preferences. We'll say, you know, this is something called like this one, enable remote modules. No, okay, we'll see later on. Let's leave it. Okay, so let's call it context isolation to false. Now this is important because if you want to require Electron in the render process, like require IPC render in the Electron process, you need this context isolation to be false. Like that's important, right? So now after that, I believe we can go to our render process and start creating our UI, like user interface. It will be an extremely simple user interface. So this is our navigation bar. So our application name is what was the name of our application? Note keeping, right? So we'll say note keeping. Okay, and let's give it some class. We'll say no nav bar. So this is nav, and then we can say, you know, we can create some buttons. So let's give it a class called button, and we'll say, first of all, we will be needing something like input text id title placeholder title of the note. Okay, and then over here actually we'll have a input box. I think, what is that called? Text area. Okay, and basically we don't want name for this now. We definitely want an ID, like ID, which is note, and I'm happy with every other thing. And we'll have a button over here, of course, and which will be basically save. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see how does it look. First of all, let's launch our application again. Why have we closed our application? I don't know. Okay, yeah, that's it. It's looking super duper ugly right now, so we'll make it better, don't worry. So, you know, let's create an let's create a style.css file. Style.css. Good morning. Okay, whatever. So we have a style.css file, and let's place it in the this side, like in the left side, and let's close this one, Control B. Okay, so that we could actually see what all styles we want to implement. So basically the first thing is we want the nav, right? So nav width is 100%. There's some padding, of course, padding 10 pixel, shadow, like box shadow 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 15 pixel, hash DD. I hope so, that will look good. Once the box shadow has been given, what else do we need? We need a position, a fixed, a top 0, left 0, right 0. And first of all, we also need to link this CSS file. Okay, and that's it. I believe we are done with that. And you can press Control R in this application to, like, that's how it does it look. So we need a background also. So background color white. Okay, and let's give it some let's go to boarding, padding top like 50 pixel, or 100 pixel is also correct. I don't have any issue with that. Yeah, that's looking good. And we need to increase the size of this note keeping, of course. That is comes out something compulsory. So let's do that. So let's say font size, we want basically 19 pt, and font weight. If you're not interested in this whole CSS and JavaScript part, you can skip ahead. Okay, so I know it's like little boring, so I'm sorry, we'll have to do it. Okay, so you can see note keeping, right? The next thing is we want to make these things better, right? So like this form and all. First of all, let's do few things. Basically we have title, right? So we'll say title, that's a class. Okay, title, basically we want the we want padding, uh, 5 pixel, 10 pixel, that's all. I don't know how that should look. Come on. Now title of the note, right? So confusing, man. We have the ID as title, not this as title, so we'll have this. And let's give it padding as 10 pixel, and let's do not overthink this. Oh, we have to refresh this, right? Yeah, you can see that's how does it look. That's how it looks. And a width to be as 100%. Okay, yeah. And now margin, see, I'm very roughly doing this styling and all, just to see. Okay, and we'll just we'll just go for the note, right? So we have note, we'll have a margin same, we'll have a margin of 20 pixel, and we'll have a width of 100%. That's it, I believe. Let's refresh this. That's too big. Okay, and this is happening due to a margin thing. We are like having 100% width with margin and all. So let's make it a little less, 90%, and that will be, I think, all fine. And that should look fine, I believe. Yeah, that's looking good. So we have our node, right? So and let's reduce this from 100 pixel to like something reasonable, like 60 pixel. And we will do one more thing, over here. We'll just add a h1 tag, and we'll say add a new node. Yeah, and we basically have the UI right now, right? I know it's looking super ugly, super bad, but let it be, we don't care. Let's make it 95% or 94%. Okay, so you know, note keeping. We just want a little bit like padding left 20 pixels. Yeah. So after that, let's style our button. So that's the only thing which is left. So button, and let's set some background color to this, like some nice color. Let's select some good one, let's say this one, and some font color. It's like color, uh, so some white, it's like the text color. And the padding is it will be 5 pixels from the top and 10 pixels from the sides. And you can skip this css part, seriously, skip this. Even I'm feeling boring in this css part. Padding, and after that what? That's it. Margin, let's set our margin 20 pixel. That will make it uniform, right? So that will like make it looks the same as. I think we are doing something wrong. It is actually a class, not a ID. Come on, save it. Yeah. So we don't want it to be 100%. Come on, we want to give a width. Let's give it like 150 pixel, and that's it. That's it, I believe. Yeah, we are done. Okay. So and one more thing, let's give the padding as 10 pixel from everywhere. This does not look good. And we want to do one more thing. We basically want to text center, like text align center. We want to do text align center. Yeah, that's our button. You can give a hover effect and all if you want, but we don't want that right now, so that's okay. So basically we want like there will be a list which will be in the bottom, and which will show basically all of our nodes. Okay, so let's give it an ID, call it list. Okay, and we'll be thinking about that later on. So now it's the time when we finally think about getting like let's add a script file which will basically like fetch all the information from these fields, and we'll save it in our field in our file system. So we'll just create a script .js, which will be we'll need to link this from this thing, from this index.html file. So once we have linked this, now there are a few things which we will be doing. Let's close all of them, and now we'll be needing few files. Is equal to require Electron. Okay, basically the first file which we need is called IPC renderer. Okay, so basically we want to send the information, and the here will be importing all the DOM elements. So let's say we want the title to be something like document dot get element by ID, and this is title. Where's the title? Yeah, it's title, title. Let note be is equal to document dot get element by ID, and it will be note, I think. Let button is equal to document dot get element by ID button. Basically we don't have this ID called button, so let's make it. So let's give it an ID called button, not this thing. Come on. Where is that? It's here. Yeah, it's done. So we are done with this. So next thing is, whenever this button is clicked, so button dot on click, whenever this is clicked, we basically want to do something. We basically want to save this this particular note, right? So let's create a note first of all, and let's do some error checking first. So if title is not equal to blank, and then note is not like it's not equal to blank, and then like why do I say and I don't know, that's and. Okay, that's it. If these two things are not blank, we want to go for it, and else we want to say window dot alert, please please fill all the things and try again. Yeah, that's how we want to go for. The next thing is we if we have all the things filled up, the next thing which we want to do is basically create a notes, or what should I say, note underscore note object. Okay, this will be actually, this will contain a note which will be note same, and it will contain basically a title. So title should be above, or in modern JavaScript you don't even need this thing, even this will work now. Okay. So basically, and let's place it in one line, we don't even need two lines for this. Yeah, so that's basically our note, and we want to send this to, we want to store this somewhere, right? We want to send this information. So how will you send this? We'll just say ipc renderer dot send, and now if you're not understanding what I'm doing, that's completely fine, you'll get it. Okay, so basically I'm triggering an event in the main process. How will that happen? You'll just see now. So it's like ipc renderer dot send save note. Okay, and let's give it this information, which is note underscore note. Okay, sorry, what am I doing? Yeah, so that's it. So ipc renderer dot send save note underscore note. So that's like that's how you trigger an event in the main process. Let's see how does that happen actually. So basically, here what you can do is like here, like all the ipc calls. Okay, so you can say ipc main. Okay, that will be actually automatically imported. You can say ipc main dot on on the save note. I think that was the name of the event. You'll get an event and then the data whichever you have sent. So it is note. Let me explain you again how does this work. So this is the script file. Okay, as soon as you send some data, as you send some event, okay, like save note event I have sent with this data, which is our note, in the main process it is received by on event, which is like you have to give the same event name, which is save note. You get an event and a whatever data which you have sent. So that's how it does it work. So that's our note. Now we have to save it. So now to save it, we'll be using something very interesting. It is called NeDB. By the way, this is something like overkill for this project. We do not need to do this, but still, like, let's do it. You'll learn something new. NeDB, which is actually a database which where you can store data in an array form. And this is a subpart of MongoDB, and super duper cool, and it has a cat in its GitHub page. That's super cool. Okay, so basically, first of all, what you need to do is we have to import this package, npm install NeDB. Let's install this. Till the time it is being installed, it will not take a lot of time, I think. I just hope it does not take a lot of time, but like this is an array based database. Let me actually show you how does it work actually. You have to create a data store, and then you can like perform all the actions such as you perform. If you have used MongoDB, it's very, very similar to that. If you haven't used, that's completely fine. We'll be learning. Basically, that's been added. So the next thing is we have to import this. So let's call it our let data store store data store is equal to require any come on NeDB. Yeah, so basically whenever our app is ready, like over here, we want to basically wait, let's create one more global variable. Let's call it our data store. Okay, and we'll be initializing it over somewhere, like let's write a function init data store. Okay, and that will be, this function will be responsible for initializing our data store. Now how will it initialize? So let's dot not data store is equal to new data store, basically, and it will take some configurations. Now what all configuration it takes? First of all, a file name. File name is the address where you want to basically, you know, save this. So like, now this is important, like watch this very carefully. There's actually different configuration. Like if you want to store temporary files or your data files of your application, there are different addresses which are allotted to you. Okay, it's different in Windows, it's different in Linux, but how will you keep track of it? Actually, Electron has a solution for this. So let's use that. Okay, so let's call it let path is equal to what? App dot get path, and then user data. So wherever you want to store the user data, that's the path you can use, basically, you know. And then you can say path plus slash, let's call it user, like nodes dot json. It actually stores it as a JSON data. By the way, you can give any extension, it does not care. So yeah, so nodes.json, that's file name, and that's basically it. You know, that will basically create it. One more thing, you have to load this. Okay, so data store dot load database, and that basically gives a callback with an error. So if there is some error, basically you wanna throw that error. That's as simple as like that, and that's it. And we can just log something out also, so that you know there was some error in loading the data store. Okay, that's it, we're done. The next thing is you know, let's call this function. So actually, before creating this thing, create window, let's call this initialize data store function. So that will basically initialize the data store, and if there's no error, you know, we'll say we'll log data store loaded successfully. Okay, so we have loaded the data store successfully. Once we have done all of that thing, we basically are ready to feed in information inside that. So you know, in this node, as we have node, we can say data store dot I think insert, okay, the node, and then you have a callback. It's the then you have a callback, you have an error callback, and if there is an error, you'll get to know. By the way, if you are thinking like, from where am I getting all these, it's here, I believe, you know, where, yeah, you can see insert and this document, and there's a function called error and the new document. So basically the new document will, you know, it will be new doc. This will be basically all the document which has been created. It automatically allots the ID to every document which you create. So let's log this document up so that we basically get an idea about what is this thing. Okay, and we have inserted this, whatever note this is, and we can just, you know, say if there is like an error, throw that error. We can basically log this out also. So log there was some error in inserting the doc. Okay, and if there is no error, basically if there is no error, what you want to do is, we want to say log data inserted successfully. Okay, that's how you do it. So I believe that's it, and we'll be able to do it now. But remember, if you make any changes in the main process, you'll have to close the application and relaunch it. There are ways in which, like, you can fix this. Okay, so there are tools, but we are not going to cover that in this video. But yeah, you can do this. You know, you can have a Google search and you'll know it. So this is the IPC call which will save our node. So let's first see, does it work or not? Okay, so let's close the application and let's relaunch it. So that's how you close it. Let's relaunch it, and let's see, let's hope that we do not get an error this time. Yeah, you can see, you know, you can see that you know, our data store has been loaded successfully, so that's super great. Let's create like this is dope, and this is my note, and I am super happy, whatever this is. I don't I don't want to do. So like, let's say we can, you know, you can press Control Shift I in order to open the developers tool, and you can go to console to see if there is an error. So it says an object could not be cloned. What we have some error. An object could not be cloned. Let's see what is the error. We have the error over here. So it says you know, cannot be cloned. Okay, so I think the error is over here. Let's go some with some other name. Let's call it title. Let's call it node. Oh, it's the problem, you know, we are directly writing the title. We want the value of the title, you know, we cannot do that. That's completely wrong. Yeah, got it. So it's, we'll have to write the value, like that's what we need. You know, I'm mad, like that's super wrong. You know, that's now, that will work. Like we can now write underscore node, and that's completely correct. Yeah, so if that goes, everything like over there goes correct, we can just move ahead with trying this. Let's hope now this time is the okay. Sorry, why have I launched that? Okay, minimize this. So okay, so now let's refresh this, and let's write something over here. So this is cool, this is really cool, and we know that, and let's save it. Okay, so have we done it? Have we? Let's check out console. Data inserted successfully, and this is the new information which we, sorry man, everybody's talking, I cannot do anything, so sorry for the noise if you are getting the noise. Basically you can see, you know, we have the data which we basically have inserted, you would say, and this is the ID which has been allotted to it. So basically this data you can fetch it anytime in the future and show it in our application. So this will be saved. Okay, so this data will be persistent. So let's see, you know, how we can make that persistent data thing happen. So basically, you know, there's something, you know, whenever our application will load, so let's call it over here, let's create a global variable called nodes. Okay, which will store all our nodes after fetching it from the backend. So basically, you know, we'll say app window dot onload. So basically, when this loading thing is done, we want to do something. What do you want to do? We basically want to say that nodes. We want to say IPC renderer dot invoke. Basically, we want to invoke. Now what is the invoke? You know, what you must be thinking, what is invoke? Invoke is actually, you know, you can return some value from the backend after processing or after doing something. So we can say IPC renderer dot invoke, and what do we think? Get data. Okay, and then we can say, you know, that's it. I think that's it. If you want to pass some information over there, you can do that. You know, basically you can give and you can pass some data if you want. So once you have invoked this function, the next thing which we want to do is we want to get to our main process, and let's write over here IPC main. You know, invoke could be handled, you know, for invoke you have to write handle, not on. That's something important. Okay, so what was the name? The name, it was get data. Let's write the same thing over here, get data. Okay, and basically here also you get an event. Okay, and you can return some value from here. That's the super cool part. Okay, so let's write async over here, and basically let's see how we actually get the data. So you know, if that's like, I think the function is called find, and you know, does this work asynchronously? Your okay, so you know, there was a lot of noise, man. I get frustrated sometimes. Let's leave it. So you know, you can see I don't know, like, could we do it using async await? Let's try to do it. If we can, it would be super cool. So Where's that? It's here. Okay, so let's call it let data let's call it nodes is equal to, or we can directly say, we can say try return await data stores dot find, and you basically, the first option is the configuration. Okay, so the configuration is like what sort of filter options which you want to give. Like if you want, I don't want to give anything. The next thing is I want to find what all things. How does it happen? Let's see. Find, and then there is a function, and that's all. So basically let's go to VS Code now, and there's error, and there's the documents. If there is no error, okay, so if there is an error, there's some sort of problem here. Let's see what is that problem. Oh, we haven't given the catch statement, like everything else was correct. Okay, so we don't want to give any configuration, and basically there's an error and documents, and if there is no error, that's super great. But if there is an error, we want to throw that error, and that's it. If you're thinking why this error, like why this linting is coming, because we haven't like write the catch statement that's necessary. Catch error. So if there's an error, simply again throw that error. We don't want any mess over here. So after this, if we do not have any error, let's return why are we doing this? This is not like, this is not at all necessary. Our mind has been like, it's let's see, does it work or not. I'm not like 100% sure that await will work for this this thing, but let's see. Once we have this done, now there's one thing which we need to understand, like handle function. We are getting this, and we are getting the data over here. So let's do one thing, let's log this data. So we are invoking that function over there, and basically we let nodes, or we can say nodes in the global object wait, and basically this you can use await only in an async function. So that's how we do it. And let's log this nodes and see does it work or not. Okay, basically we'll have to restart our server for obvious reasons, because we have made changes in the main process. So that's how. Okay, there's an error in the get data. So error occurred in the handler for get data. Error, an object could not be cloned. Okay, okay, let's make it through promise. I think that will be super cool in here. Okay, let's get it through promise, and that will work. I believe that will work super fine. So we can return a promise. We don't need to use async and await now. We can return a promise. We can return a new promise. Okay, and promise basically has two things. First is accept. I think it's accept, reject, or resolve, reject. Sorry, resolve and reject. Okay, once we have these two things, both of them are actually a function, so you can basically call it according to your needs. So we'll be just doing what we'll say, data stores dot find listings, and then basically we have errors and we have documents, and if there is an error, we want to reject it with that error. So we'll say reject it with that error. And if there is no let's say if there's no error, we can resolve it with the documents which we have. And I think that makes super sense for now. So that's how it is. The next thing which we'll be doing is actually going to the script, and here we get the nodes, right? So let's see, does it work or not. Let's relaunch our application. Oh, it worked, I believe. Yes, it worked. It worked. Super cool. Yes, we finally did it. So you can see this is all the notes which we actually needed. This is super cool note, the title and all. So now it's the time to just load this. You'll say we can use this our local storage for this. Yes, of course. But this is the concept which I want to give you. You can use this in much more larger projects, much more bigger projects. So now we have only one work left, which is to like go into a list. Where's the list? Where's the list? Where's the list? Where's the list? In the HTML file, you can see this is the list, and basically put everything inside that. Let's go to script.js. Okay, now let's call it let list be equal to document dot get element by id. What thing? List. Okay, and basically whenever this load thing happens, we have all the nodes from the main process. We can say list dot we can say list. What am I doing, man? I don't know. Nodes dot for each, like this is actually a array, so we can say for each. Okay, once we have the array, we can say we have each element, so we can say note with this is the note, and list dot inner HTML plus equal to like, let's say let's give it a title in h1. So it's string interpolation, if you don't know, like that's how it works. Like you can insert title, okay, and then we can have a paragraph tag where we can give the all the node dot note. We just note, right? So yeah, so we have this two things, and basically there's one more thing which you get along with this, which is the id, which is the index. So idx, we can give that also. So we can say over here idx space, yeah. Let's see, does it work or not? Let's launch it. Yeah, it is there, man. It is there. Yeah, it's super cool. This is super cool. You can see this is the notes which we created initially. You can give a very nice sort of let's actually give it. Okay, so let's actually do it. So it will take like I think two to three minutes. So let's do it. So let's give it a div. There you go. And you can give a class to this also. So you can say class is equal to some class like list element. Let's copy that, and you can go to styles, and you can define this class, and you can even style this, of course. Oh man, list item. Okay, I think that was the name, right? I just don't remember it. So it's list element, ele, not item. List element, and you can say we want a padding, we want a margin of 20 pixels. We want a padding of 10 pixel. We want a box shadow of 1 pixel, 15 pixel /tdd. So yeah, you can see that looks super cool, right? That looks better now. So now there's one problem. When you add, this is added to the database, but it is not showing over here. So how you can change that? So basically it's super simple. Let's do one thing over here now, so which is like let's make it a function over here, so that this could happen. So function load nodes Okay, so this will contain this. And one more thing which we need to do is we need to like clear the whatever there is from like before. So we'll say list dot inner html is equal to blank initially, and now we can just call this over here load nodes. And one more thing, we just want to send this data as well as we want to add this to our nodes. So we'll say nodes, that is actually an array, so yeah. So we can basically say nodes dot push. We want to basically add the underscore node to this, and that's it. That's it. And we want to call this load nodes, and I think that's we are done now. So you can see our application is ready now. So basically if I just go and write this is another node, basically let's make it bigger, a bit bigger. This is another node. This is super cool. I am happy that I made this. You can see, and you can likewise you can add as many nodes as you want. And let's do one thing, you can see this nodes, and the best part is will be saved, so it is persistent. So if I close this application and if I relaunch this application, you can see all these nodes which have been saved. So if I relaunch this application, you will see that all those things will be there saved like that. So that's super cool. This is a new library called NeDB, and I think you have learned something from this tutorial. If you have learned, don't forget to like this video and subscribe the channel if you want, because we are really having really less subscribers till now. So that's it, friends. Thank you. Have a great day. Peace out. And there's like a lot more useless applications we'll be making in the future. So yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.